Do you want to create a successful business and preserve your energy? Make more money while you stay true to your values? Know how to reclaim your calm in times of stress? Enjoy a balance between the time you give your career, your family, and yourself without feeling guilty? Welcome to the Reclaim Your Balance podcast. I'm Dr. Laura Schwent, longtime dentist and work-life balance coach. In each episode, we'll explore ways to feel empowered about the time you devote to your career, your family, and yourself. Develop tools to help you reclaim your calm in times of stress, and purposefully make more balanced daily decisions based on your core values. Join me as I hack the world of work-life balance and bring to you extraordinary professional women who are at the forefront of living their best lives in balance and harmony as guests to constantly inspire you to reclaim your balance. You are the CEO of your life. Now become the boss of your balance. All right, we are live, and I'm here this morning. Well, it's morning for me. I don't know what it is for everyone else, but with Tami Oconnell. Welcome, Tami. I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, thank you. We were just right before we came live, we were talking about what a wonderful world this is right now, where so many people are connecting in special, unique ways. And maybe COVID is to thank for that a little bit, right? I don't know.
Maybe.
Can we be thankful for COVID in little ways?
Why not? We have to.
Right? Yeah. But so we connected online, and I love Tami's story. So I'm going to highlight some of it, but I'm going to let her tell most of it. So Tami, you've been a hygienist for 30 years.
Correct.
And you were just telling me that when you first got into hygiene, you were an assistant first.
Yes.
And you didn't wear gloves.
No. And I started when I was 16.
Okay.
I went to the dentist, as most of us did, and the dentist that I went to was my personal dentist, and I was in high school, and I was looking for a job, and I think I asked him, like, do you need help or anything? And I kind of was interested in a more professional kind of job, but I didn't know dentistry. I didn't know anything about it. And he was like, you know what? I do. I need an assistant. And I said, but I don't know how to assist. And he's like, I'll teach you. Don't worry. And so I started, loved it, went right in. Nothing bothered me. And it's funny because I don't like to see blood on people, like if they bleed and like, if they cut themselves or if they get hurt. But in the mouth, didn't bother me. So I went right in, and then I watched the hygienist in the office, and she was so sweet. I loved her. We talked a lot, and I said, do you think I can do this? I really like what you're doing. I like how you're teaching, you're helping, you're you're on your own. Like, I don't have the dentist looking over me or like somebody looking over me. I could do my own thing, but still be in an office with everybody. And she's like, yeah, you could do this. You could do this. Oh. So since 16, I wanted to be a hygienist.
That's so awesome. And it just kind of goes with your personality, because you said that you love relationships. You love building relationships and helping others. And you loved that about connecting with your patients and helping them with their fears and anxieties.
Yeah, I do. And I really felt like so many people have so many anxieties with dentistry, and so many things happened to them in the past. And I felt I had a good connection. Even as the assistant, I would make them feel comfortable before getting treatment. And so just talking to them, making them feel okay, holding their hand, whatever they, felt they needed, I was there. And so as a hygienist, I really made them feel comfortable that, they can come to the office and feel good about it and trust me and trust the dentist. And it was a good rapport. I really liked it. I love it,
Awesome.
actually. Yeah.
Well, and this, you think this came from maybe when you were little, because tell us the story. Now, you were born in Israel?
Yes, I was born there.
During a war?
I was born there and lived in Israel till I was almost 7.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a war. There's many wars, but the last war, I was about 6. And my mom is American. My dad is Israeli. And she tried to live there for about 8 years, 2 years before I was born, and then the 6 years and almost 7 that I was there. And she couldn't take it anymore. She was like, I don't think this is the right way we should live. And let's try to live back home in the United States. So I didn't speak English when I first came.
And you were 7-ish that time?
I was almost 7. And I was in first grade, but because I didn't speak English, they had to put me back a year so I would learn English. So I had to which was fine, but I didn't know anyone and I didn't speak English. And so I was alone. It's hard to communicate when you don't speak the language. I knew a little English because my mom's American. She did speak to me, but it wasn't my native language and I didn't feel comfortable speaking it. So what happened was to overcompensate that, I stopped speaking my native language, which is Hebrew, and really focused to speak English without an accent. And I didn't know that's what it was that I was doing. That's the way I had to cope with what I was dealing with. So I would fit in, because if I had an accent, they would know I was different. So I didn't want to have an accent. So I really, and by me focusing so hard on learning English without an accent, I forgot my Hebrew because I didn't want to speak it anymore, which was not a good thing, because now I'm really upset over that. And it's really hard for me. I've tried to learn it. It's almost like I have a mental block about it, but I'm going to try again because I really do want to learn it again.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, what a hurdle. And it's so incredible how much we do to just try and fit in, and really realizing that we are all different is just such a beautiful thing. But you were bullied a little bit, weren't you?
I felt, kids are sometimes not so nice, and being new, and they would just make fun of me. And I don't know if it was just maybe I was too sensitive about it, but I felt like I was being bullied. And so I didn't want to really tell my parents, because at that time I didn't want them to feel bad. I didn't want them to, I had to deal with it myself. So by dealing with it, I just try to make friends and try to really be that person to really come to. I would go to people who were alone and try to friend them. And really, I noticed so I had this like calling to help people that weren't fitting in or weren't the norm, of the normal society, that people like try to stay in cliques. But that person by themselves, eating by themselves, I would go and sit with them. And then, and then I really started having a nice friendship right away. Like young kids, you make friends, you don't think you do, but you make friends pretty quick. And so I really did make a lot of great friends when I was younger, and it kind of like followed me as an adult. And I've always been the friendly, talking to everybody. My husband said, I don't know how you know so much about someone you just met. So I just like to learn about people and be there and be a friend.
That's awesome. And you've translated that into so many different passions. You've helped with Special Olympics, Team Smiles, and your local women's shelter. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved with all of those and what you do with them.
So the Special Olympics is a yearly or maybe twice a year. They do have Special Olympics locally, and they're always in need of dentists, hygienists, assistants, because what they do with the Special Olympics, they have an inside part where they check their oral care and they check to see if they're brushing correctly or if they have decay. So we would have them open and tell us about how they brush their teeth, and then I would actually check their teeth to see if they have any decay, or jot it down. And we would do fluoride treatments too.
Nice.
And they all had signed off that this could be done. And a lot of times they had their parents there, which was great. And then we could teach the parents how to make sure to check to see if they were brushing correctly, because that's a whole group that they need more oral care.
Yep. That's awesome. I bet that was fun.
That was so fun. And they love you. And they just, and actually a dad recognized me from the year, maybe a couple of years before. And he goes, I remember you from a couple of years ago. And I said, you do? He goes, yeah, because I didn't remember him or his child. But the children are not that young. Sometimes they're in their 20s and sometimes they're younger. But he reckoned and he said, thank you so much for what doing. And so it makes you feel good that you're helping. And then Team Smiles last year, I think that was, it's going so fast now, maybe 2 years ago, they go around to every state and they go into stadiums, football stadiums, and they bring in hundreds of children, underserved children. Wow. And they set up a whole dental unit with, I don't even know how many chairs. And we teach them oral hygiene. We clean their teeth. And we do fluorides, and they have fun, and they're so happy, and they just jump in your chair, and they want you to treat them. And they also fix their teeth too. So if they have any decay, they have dentists there. So they are looking all the time for dentists and hygienists and assistants. Yeah. And then with the women's shelter, I really want to help women. It's a big push for me to do more to help women who are underserved or abused or running from something. So I saw a video of this woman who collected bras for women who can't. Bras are very expensive, and they can't purchase. So she collected bras for hundreds, thousands of women now, and it's a big movement. So I said, you know what? I want to help do that. So with that, she also said they need sanitary items. So we collected hundreds of sanitary items, bras, children's clothing, and I brought it to my local shelter. And so cool. It's just such a good feeling. Hopefully they got, some good things out of it. And I like doing things like that.
That's awesome. It just shows your big caring heart, and you just don't stop. So fast forward 30 years, you have two wonderful kids. Your daughter is in med school right now, which that's an interesting time to be in med school.
Yeah. Her whole life, she knew she wanted to be a doctor. She didn't want to be a dentist. She wanted to be a doctor. I said, okay. We don't know yet what she's going to specialize in yet, but she's really into learning why things happen to your body. And so she's more in the biology part of it. And she just doesn't want to give pills and medicine and send them on their way. She wants to find out really what's wrong, help in a more holistic way, because she's going to be a DO doctor. So she's going to be more integrative. And so she's learning manipulative therapy, which is helping me a lot, because with dental hygiene, we're always in pain with our neck and shoulders and back. And she does things. She learns this. It's not chiropractic. She doesn't really crack. It's like moving the body, the muscles in opposite ways. So it helps loosen the tight muscles and tendons and fascia and all this stuff and it works.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah.
Wow, that's great. You're like
Yeah.
the benefactor of
I
her
know.
learning right now.
Practices on me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, but and then you have a son who's in like econ and finance, right?
Yes, yes. And
So
he's going to school in Orlando, so he'll be moving. He's home now, so he's going to be going back soon. I don't know if they're going to have in-class classes,
right.
but they're going to have
Trying
to
figure
do
it out.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but when you became an empty nester, you kind of had this feeling like you wanted to do more, still
Yeah.
more. So tell us how the original fashion trends light bulb went off for you.
Yeah, good. Thank
This is a
you.
great story. Yeah, I love it.
Well, my husband's been in the jewelry business for 30 years, fine jewelry. Him and his mom started it.
Oh, cool.
He came in to help her when she needed him. And he left, he came out of college and right away went into jewelry. And he learned every aspect of jewelry, from manufacturing, pouring the gold, making the molds, putting the diamonds together with the stones, and just having a beautiful piece of jewelry from scratch. So he learned everything. He knows how to do everything. And I pretty much have learned with him, because we've been married 30 years. So he pretty much started at the time when we were dating. He was at college, and he went right to help his mom. So I learned everything as well. I didn't do it, but I learned it. But I never saw that was my thing. It was always his thing.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, I just kept giving him ideas to design jewelry. And he's like, that sounds good, but I don't know how to sell that to who and where, because he's a manufacturer. He wasn't the retailer.
Okay. So
he would get people coming to him to make things, and he would manufacture. So he wasn't the retailer. Mm-hmm. So after a few years of me just thinking of things and telling him, I decided one day, after really wanting to do more and maybe leave hygiene, I felt like I was in pain a lot. So it started with me being in pain, coming home from working, and really didn't know, what do I do if I don't do hygiene anymore? I don't want to just, I don't want to say just stay home. I just wanted more. I didn't want to do something just to have lunches. And that's not a bad thing to say, but I just wanted to be more fulfilled. Mm-hmm. So I said to him, well, what do you think if I design some jewelry and to help promote women and women in business and people with passions? So it started with, because I have so many passions. And so I said, I would love to help other people tell their story. And what better way is to have a beautiful piece of jewelry, wear it, and someone say to you, what is that necklace? What are you wearing? And then you say, oh, I'm a dental hygienist, or I'm a dentist. And this is, it says, I love teeth on it. Or it says, or a tooth. And, or just what I'm wearing is a dream. But it could say anything that the dentist or any profession, what you feel in your heart, you could design. So I said, I can start making jewelry for people with passions. Mm-hmm. So he said, I love it. What about if you start with your own profession first? Because I was thinking yoga, because I love yoga. I was thinking people who love pets, their dogs and cats. And so I was going to do more pet inspired jewelry. And I said, oh, with my own profession first? Okay. That sounds right. Like, it sounds perfect, but I needed to hear that from him, because, sometimes you're not sure, like how am I going to tell my profession? Like, I'm just a hygienist, but I said, you know what, I'm going to look into this, because I was following some groups before he said that. And I said, you know what, I have a whole vast of people that I don't know yet, but I'm in these groups. So maybe if I bring it into the groups, I can see if it works.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it all started. And then I started joining more groups. I went on Smiles at Sea. Actually, I met Elijah from his group, Elijah Desmond. Do you know Elijah?
Yep. He's a
So
wonderful guy.
I was following his group. He inspired me so much because I just heard his messages, and I heard that in his messages that you can do something else that you really maybe don't know yet, but you can do it. And just having someone say that to you, and it might not have been just to me, it was to his whole group, but I heard it to me. And I said, you know what? Okay. And he kind of was open to say, if you want to talk to me, you could schedule, time to talk to me. So I actually talked to him, and he said, well, if you really want to do something, make it and let's see. Like, so many people say they want to do something, but they don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that actually helped me say, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to say something and not do it.
Right.
No, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So
you put it out there, and you put it out there to someone who would hold you accountable. And so you can't, right?
I can't like look bad and not do it, So I told my husband what Elijah said. He goes, okay. He goes, does he want anything for you doing something? Because I kind of said I would do, I would make jewelry, and would you like help me promote it in your group? Can I promote it in your group? And he said, yeah, of course, do it, anything. And my husband said, does he want anything? And I said, no, he doesn't want anything. Like Elijah doesn't want anything. And he's like, wow, you don't hear that today. You don't hear, because everyone wants something from you. If you do this for me, I'll do that for you. So I said, no, I genuinely think he's just cares about helping others. And I'm following, and he really does. And so I went to his sales training seminar because I thought maybe I'll be in sales and dental sales. And that was a nice thing he did for us. It was only a few people, and it was during a hurricane. So it was always something. The hurricane was going to hit that day, and then it was slow. So it didn't hit till the next couple of days after, but we were all very stressed because we thought there was a hurricane coming. So he cut it short. He cut his sales seminar short, and he went from 2 days to 1 day. So we were very, very packed in with information. We couldn't talk to each other. We couldn't schmooze. We couldn't like really meet each other. We just had to sit and listen because it was like a lot of information. But I got a chance to really talk to Elijah for 5 minutes, and I showed him my jewelry line, my jewelry collection of dental inspired jewelry. Mm-hmm. So I made his Smiles at Sea charm necklace in sterling silver. I love teeth, gold digger, because he says his group, they're gold diggers. And I made cute little teeth charms and some other things. And so he was like blown. He just couldn't believe. He just was like in shock, I think, because it was kind of like, okay, wow, she did it. She did it. And I said, you remember our conversation? He goes, oh yeah, I remember. I go, okay, well, here's what I said I was going to do.
Awesome.
So, he asked me to come on Smiles and See. I came on I think it was a month later or so. And I met so many people. I just connected with people that I never would have ever thought I would. I just would hear them in podcasts, and I would see them in groups, but I never thought I would actually see them and and talk to them
and brush shoulders with them, right?
Yeah, and Ann Duffy, we met on the Smiles at Sea, and
Ann's on tomorrow.
Yay!
I know.
And I'm a do now, and we made her signature necklace for do, and she was my official group necklace for groups. And we made a signature do necklace, and she has her own beautiful 14 karat with moissanite encrusted do necklace. That's her logo. So I started creating logo jewelry for dentists, dental professionals, to really bring out what they have done for everybody and their practice, and to help talk about what they're doing. Because sometimes it's hard to like tell people what you're doing, but if you have a necklace to say, oh, this is my do necklace, and we have this group that is so inspirational and helping others, and we have fundraisers, and it's just a wonderful group to be in. And that's how this whole jewelry business started, really.
That's such a fun story. And I just love the meaning behind it. There's so much meaning behind it. And you're right. What a beautiful way to talk about your accomplishments. I mean, we are in a profession where we're full of high achievers.
Yes.
And so you start to not really even recognize your own achievements because everyone around you is doing it too.
Exactly.
And so to have a beautiful piece of jewelry to commemorate everything that you've done, and a talking point. I love how you say what a great talking point when you're out and about, if you have your logo or your group or your practice or something.
Yeah. Like if you, whatever you're passionate about.
Right.
So we could be going, hopefully we'll be going to parties, and we'll be going places and doing things with people, and we want to wear pretty stuff. We want to, put jewelry on, and you want to wear pretty. Well, what better way to put a beautiful piece of jewelry that is meaningful, and it's about you and your accomplishment. And as you do it, it's a soft sell. Like it's a soft way to talk about what you are and who you are and what your passions are.
Yep. Yeah. And I have seen your jewelry, and it's beautiful. It's because, there has been some dental jewelry out there that I've seen, and it's always a little hokey. Yours is classy. It's beautiful.
And that's how I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be all sterling silver and gold and ethical. Try to use moissanite or lab-created diamonds. We could also use gemstones and have colored stones. So we could do anything. We could do rings, earrings, necklaces, anything.
That's
because we're manufacturers. So it's really fun. I really love it. And that's another thing now. I want to have fun. I feel like dentistry is so heavy sometimes, and we take in a lot of stress, and I'm very empathetic. So I take in a lot of people's stresses, and I take it in because I feel for them so much. And I come home, and, and life is, and so, you stressed. Well, this is so fun. I love making people happy and seeing their piece of jewelry that they created and we created together, and they can wear it. It's so beautiful.
That's awesome. And then on top of that, you bring in your desire to always help. And now you're actually using it to help with causes, and things that are important to people for raising money. Tell me a little bit, aren't you doing something right now with cystic fibrosis? Is that right?
Yes. I got a phone call from another hygienist. She met me, I guess, from one of our Facebook groups, and she contacted me. And her name is Michelle Martin. Her son has cystic fibrosis, and he's 20. And so every year she does fundraisers for him and cystic fibrosis. So she reached out to me and asked me if we could make a necklace or piece of jewelry to raise money for cystic fibrosis. I said, of course. I also had a friend. She passed away with cystic fibrosis, and she left 2 kids. And I think one was in high school, one was in college. And it was a really trying time for that family, and I know this disease is not an easy disease at all. And a lot of people don't know about it. So they really need to have more awareness to this disease. So I said, of course, I will help you. Definitely, I will do whatever it takes. We're going to do this. So we just finished creating it. We're now posting it. And it's a beautiful necklace that says breathe with CF, and different options in sterling silver and gold. The color that they use for the cystic fibrosis is purple. So we use an amethyst stone in the chain on one of the designs. So it's really, and the prices are so doable. I really try to keep, because we are the manufacturers, I try to keep everything cost effective so people can purchase. And so when we wear the cystic fibrosis necklace, we can now share it. So my whole motto now is when we wear it, we can share it. And
That's
we can
awesome.
share the stories, and we can tell people about cystic fibrosis and anything that you want to make for any fundraiser or, cause.
I'm just making a banner with that. That's so cute.
So that I came up with that saying because it's so apropos. When we wear it, we can share it. Like, I'm wearing a shirt that says "Be kind," and so I'm sharing kindness. I want to share whatever I feel we have inside of us. We want to share. I think that's so important to share our love for things, and that helps us as well as helping others. So.
Well, it helps, and it helps to build connection too, because when, if you aren't wearing it, you may not make that connection with someone that has the same exact passion as you, right?
Exactly.
And so someone sees something that you're wearing and they identify with it, and suddenly you've made a new friend.
Yes. And that's exactly, so you get me now. That's exactly what this whole business is about.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So I want to mention that you have a special treat for anybody that listens to this. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So I'm right now we're doing specials for the dental inspired collections. So anyone that would like to purchase jewelry, you can have 20% off. And you'll post the code, Dan?
I will put the code in the first comment that they, and then all of your contact information as well, I will make sure get posted in the comments so that everyone can find you.
Thank you. Now, with the Dental Inspired, I really love it for dental team building for your team.
That's a great idea.
Team gifts and new graduates graduating school, or anyone that just wants to promote dentistry and wear the I Love Teeth or a tooth or RDH with hearts, and just something to promote dentistry and the love for dentistry.
That's awesome. What a neat. I never thought of with the teams. That's a wonderful team building gift.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're not expensive, and it just and I have to say, as a hygienist and working for dentists 30 years, little things do mean a lot. Sometimes you feel like you need to give that big bonus, and that's what that's what everyone cares about, is the money. It's really not. It's really not the money. It's about just feeling appreciated. Just little things. Sometimes saying thank you at the end of the day. Sometimes your boss doesn't say it and you just feel like you're not appreciated. Just from that thank you makes you feel so appreciated. Just that little gift of a little necklace that's, doesn't have to be anything too expensive. Just showing that you care, being human and showing you care, because we go through life and we do want to feel appreciated. We all work we get a salary, and sometimes you feel like that's, all that is there. But when little things, they don't even have to be set, just one day you give a gift. It doesn't have to be like a birthday or
occasion or anything,
Christmas or anything. It just, wow, they do appreciate me.
That's a great tip. I mean, because that, as a former practice owner managing my own team, I think back to, and I was always striving to do the big stuff, but it's nice to hear that it really is just those random small signs of appreciation that make the difference.
Yeah.
That's beautiful advice. Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you're doing more too. I mean, oh my gosh. So you love to empower women. And so you've started a group, and I'm going to put the name of the group here, and Women's Empowerment Group, to inspire her and help her know her value. Tell me a little bit about why you started this and the direction it's taking.
Well, I think it's been something I've wanted to do for a very, very long time. As a hygienist, I could, it's almost like we really can't grow too much as hygienists. Like, we can go back to school, but there's not much more we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Like nurses, they can go back to school. They can become nurse practitioners, nurse anesthetists. There's a lot of growth.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of growth in hygiene. So that I think we should change and eventually think about more things that hygienists can do for the practice, because really it's going to help the practice. You know, it really will. But I feel that we're not taught value in school. We're taught, yes, to do a job. You know, we're trained, we're good, but we're not taught to really know our value. Something that you almost just have to learn just from doing things and being places. And, you know, maybe your parents taught you, maybe not, maybe you're a mentor if you had a mentor, but a lot of people don't have that. So you just go through life and you're uncertain, or you want to do things, but you just don't know how. And so I had just like an awakening one day after not knowing really where I wanted to be after hygiene. And I didn't know if I need to go back to school or if I just volunteer. I could do that. And I do love that, but I didn't know if that was it. Like I wanted more. So I felt I wanted to create a group to help women and bring on people that we can learn from and be our mentors, and just having that courage or that helping hand, or just that one word that someone might say that can change your life, you know? Just like Elijah, you know, he was talking to his group. He had 15,000 people in his group and he talks to everybody, but I felt he was talking to me. And I said, wow, okay, well, maybe I can do this, you know? So sometimes you need a little push, a little courage, you know? So I said, let me try to create a group that we can bring on speakers, and we had you on last week. You know, the days go by so quick now, and you know, it's like it was last week. I know, and you were so wonderful in our group, and I want everyone to hear you. And I feel what you're doing in your group, and what the message that you're telling your group. So we all have our groups. I might be in a group. I might have a group, but we are creating something new. It's something new that's happening. It's a shift in how maybe a kindness shift, or helping. I think years ago, it was very cutthroat. Everything. Business was cutthroat. If you're a woman, it was cutthroat. You didn't tell anybody what you made. You just kind of like it was just strive to reach the top, and you just didn't care about anybody below you or on the side of you. You just kept going. And I didn't like that. I never liked that. And I would go to seminars or conventions, and I felt very like you don't talk to anybody. It was like very, I don't know, unless you're part of that elite group, you're not like with everybody. I think it's changing. I think everybody's accepting, and we're wanting to help others. Like I want to help you. I want to help you. And with that, it makes you feel so good, because when you have a purpose, like helping or doing for others, or helping someone do something that they never thought they can do before, that purpose, that feeling of purpose changes your whole life. And there's a saying, I love Kathy Heller. I don't know if you follow Kathy Heller.
No, I don't.
She has a book, and she has a podcast, and it's called Don't Keep Your Day Job. It's my little secret podcast, but she's getting very, very popular, and she's very big now. So she's a singer, songwriter. She has a big story to tell. And so she always says, purpose is the opposite of, I think depression. So when you have a purpose, you can't be depressed, because
you have a fire in you.
Yes. So you just go for your purpose. Just find your purpose.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that advice. And I do agree with you. I feel like there's a shift, and I feel like together we can go farther.
Yes.
And I mean, you just never know. Like you said, Elijah was speaking to 1,500 people,
Yes.
and yet you heard
15,000,
him.
15,000.
15,000. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And yet you heard him speaking to you. And you never know when you can be doing that for somebody else.
Right.
You may never even know that
No.
you affected that life. But I feel like that's like a deposit in the bank of goodwill, right?
Yes.
And that just is there's nothing better than that.
Right.
So
Exactly.
yeah, that's
That
awesome.
feeling. Yeah.
Yep. So you have that, and then you also have is it a blog, the Wonder Women in Dentistry? Would you call it a blog?
Yes, that's something
Okay.
new too. I am so
Okay.
excited about my blog. It's called Wonder Women of Dentistry. And my son just came down from sleeping, so it's probably 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
I have that in our house too.
And so it came about because I wanted to feature the women that I created jewelry. He's in the back.
Okay. This is real life. This is real
real
life.
It's okay. He has to have his coffee.
He can jump in and say hi. I'm sure he'd love that, right?
No, like no. So it came about because I wanted to feature the women that I created custom jewelry for and show their group, talk about why they wanted to create the custom jewelry and promote their group. I want to help promote their group too. So I started doing that, but then I also have so many people that I've met recently and in the past that I said, you know what, I want to feature other people. It doesn't have to be people that I created jewelry for, but it's just the Wonder Women of Dentistry today.
That's awesome.
I try to feature once a week. I've slowed down a little bit this month, but I'm going to start again next month. And I'm going to feature someone really, really important to me in my life. My daughter told me I should ask her if she wants to be featured. She's my aunt. She's 92 years old, and she was a hygienist 62 years.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
I didn't know 60. I knew she practiced. She stopped practicing when she was 82.
That's phenomenal.
And
oh my gosh.
92, 93 years old now. And I just love her. She's an unbelievable woman.
Oh, she'll be fun to feature. I can't wait. You got to make sure and let me tag me in that because I want to read that. That's awesome.
I said, I want to feature you in my blog. I didn't know if she knew what a blog was, but I said, it's a writing about people. I write about women in dentistry. And she goes, oh my gosh, can you send it to me after you write about it?
Oh.
if you post it. So I can't wait.
She probably has some wonderful stories to tell.
Yeah. And she's also very kind-hearted, and we're very similar in that she's my grandfather's sister. So she's a great aunt, and she's an incredible woman. That's
fantastic. Oh, well, I think we've gone a little over time, so I want to make sure we wrap it up and are aware of people's time, but I could talk with you for hours.
I know, same here.
Oh my gosh, you are a shining light, huge shining light, biggest heart in the whole world. I'm so happy we've connected, and like I said, I will make sure that all of your links and connections are down in the comments so people can get a hold of you. And let's keep empowering women and spreading the word.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Is there anything we missed or anything you want to say before we go?
No, I think we've got everything.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I just love you. Really. I don't know you that long, but I feel like we have to connect one day and
yes,
and hike and go hiking and
yes,
eat healthy food and
go for a run.
Go for a run and just do fun stuff together.
Yes, that sounds
Yeah,
awesome. We'll make sure that happens.
Yes, I'm looking
All
forward to
right.
it.
Thank you, Tami.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Thanks,
Bye,
everyone. You are the CEO of your life. Now become the boss of your balance.